Hi. I wanted to ask you if you were thinking about the first 11. I don't think you're gonna say anything, but have you have foreseen any changes, any substitutions, any changes in the first 11? If everybody's feeling okay? Yes, everyone is feeling okay. That's the best news. Everybody is fit for contention. Some players had some minor upsets in the game against France, have felt some pain, but everybody is okay. Everyone is fit. We'll see how the training session goes, but we will see. We may make some changes to the team or not, but in any case, the team who will play is going to be good. I don't know if you heard Cristiano Ronaldo today, who praised the Spanish national team and several players, especially Lamine, and also you. He's spoken about a top coach who's doing things really well, who is a leader, and who has been using discipline within this group. What do you think on what Cristiano had to say about you today? I always felt recognized and loved by the people who I want to be loved by, and I appreciate his words very much. I should express my praise to him as well. He's a legend in football. He's an example of the values that I like in football: effort, work rate, sacrifice, wanting to be better every day, never lower your guard. So he's an example, not only for the young, for everybody. And we are lucky to be facing a very powerful national team like the Portuguese, but led by a footballer who is going to be, go down in history and whose legacy is going to be indelible. So I really appreciate his words, and we hope to give the best show tomorrow. We have spoken a lot about Lamine Yamal. He's terribly young. He scored one of his best goals last year. How do you see him? How is he assimilating everything that is being said about him? Well, we've been talking about, we've been trying to walk along with him in his education, right? He's only 17, but he's very mature for his age, and this kind of player are really well prepared, really intelligent. He's more mature than normal people his age or other people his age, and he's living that with a lot of like as if something normal, and that's how we want him to be. Of course, there will be moments that will be less good, and we will have to stand by him. Right now, he's living through really nice moments. I hope he finishes this competition in the same fashion. We're going to support him for him to feel exactly the same. Following up on what you were thinking about, it's Lamine's second final. He's not only 18 yet. Everybody's talking about him. How is he feeling against a moment like this, or in the face of a moment like this? How has he been living the last few hours, and compared to other players before a final? You would be scared, not scared, but you'd be surprised if you knew how calm he looks. He's the kind of people who are special. For some people, this would be a maximum stress situation, maximum stress. But he looks so calm, so confident, because deep inside, he dominates this kind of situation. I insist. What for other people would be a super stressful situation, or extreme, like living with anxiety, for him, it's something normal. So he can just do anything he does normally. That's why he's special. And of course, he's very well accompanied with a great group, a great atmosphere in the dressing room, and that helps a lot. Although he will keep reinforcing that attitude, of course. Day like today, in a year, next year, like same time next year, 2026, we will see the start of the World Cup at the Aztec Stadium. There is a murmur in the world of football that Spain will be among the favorites, among the best. But also, it's also like this on bets, and people are betting their money on the national team. Why do you think that there is this unanimity with people who bet their money on the national team now? Well, I think it has to do with the results, especially and the trajectory of our national team. So we all have different favorites depending on their taste, etc. But what's clear is there are certain objective data that mark this tendency, of course, and that we seem to have certain regularity in our path. But of course, if we don't win tomorrow, this tendency would change, right? So, but we will keep on working in the same direction, reinforcing the same thing, trying to improve as we always do. But there is a long way to the World Cup. So we'll see how we end tomorrow, and we will think about the next challenge. Of course, everything ahead of the World Cup. But we don't think about that. We are demanding with ourselves, and we have our own ambitions. We will try to get there as strongly as we can, with as much energy as we can, and in order to try to fight for such an important title. I wanted to ask, if your team wins tomorrow, you would be the most laureate, the national team with more titles in the history of the Spanish national team. Have you thought about it? Do you care about that? Do you not care at all? What do you think about that piece of information? Edu, how could I not care? Of course, it brings me joy, makes me proud. I don't think about it because I know how difficult it is to achieve what we achieved and to keep winning and to keep achieving successes. But it's my duty as a sportsman, as a person, and as a coach, as a national coach. So I'm responsible for a marvelous group of players who go out there to win every night. And of course, I like the challenge, and I'm up to the challenge. If we make it, I will enjoy with the same. I'll still be me, and if I don't make it, I'll come back the next day, and I will try to look for a new challenge, a new objective, to try and be motivated and to keep working. Well, there have been a lot of people talking about, well, Taylor, it's like there's a lot to work on about the League of Nations. Maybe it's not, some people say it's not at the level of a World Cup or of a Euros, but it's a most difficult competition because of the schedule. Yes, you're thinking it's important now, yeah? Well, yeah, many professionals think about this. We knew how tough this competition was from the very beginning when we started playing it. It's supported by data too. You don't always take part in a competition with such powerful national teams. 4 of the 5 best national teams in Europe are here. Right? 3 world champions, 1 European champion. It's impossible to be in this semi-final without seeing, so many great teams. So it's impossible to create such an array of important national teams. So like I said before, for me, it's a super tough competition. It's a very demanding competition, a lot of prestige at stake. But as with everything in life, it will be assessed and valued as time goes by. Normally, in a few years' time, when I'm out there listening to what you guys say, you will think, oh, now you think it's important, right? Roberto Martinez also said that it's two national teams who are based on Cruyff's idea of football. And I wanted to ask you, well, he even said that there are similarities between the two teams. Do you think it's that Portugal could be the toughest opponent because they know you very well? Well, it's the toughest opponent because it's our opponent tomorrow. You know, every rival is difficult. Semi-finals, etc., and also because it's a very powerful national team. They have a fantastic generation of footballers that with their clubs, with the national team, they have so much talent. They are so versatile. They are fast. I coincide with that in Roberto. I think there are certain similarities in the footballing idea between both teams and the selection and the kind of players that are coming to this national team in order to try to develop those ideas. So within that versatility, with our versatility, we will try to surprise them and to be available, not to keep them for controlling the game, right? We will try to use our strengths. And of course, we will try to work on everything that we can work on to try to beat them. I wanted to ask you about the captain, Alvaro Morata, who's lost some weight within the national team in the last few games. He hasn't played many minutes. I don't know how he's taking it, if he's the same leader that everybody saw during the Euros, and how is he taking that, the lack of minutes? Yes, no doubt. He's the same, not only for me, but for the rest of my mates, my workmates, and his teammates. It doesn't matter how many minutes he plays. He's still important. He's especially important now. Why do I say that? Because he's a most loved footballer, respected footballer. He's very valued. He's a team player. He will have the chance, if he has the chance to play, he would give us all. There will be moments when he will have less minutes, of course, but he's super important for us. We value a lot what's behind the scenes, right, in the dressing room. And in there, he's a leader. And for us, he's the best leader we could have. And for his teammates, he's exceptional. So there's a lot of football in his legs. You know, and of course, that he will have great moments with us, with the national team. He will be important for us for sure. And we all hope he's very successful for him and for our sake too. Fabian is rested after the Champions League final. How do you imagine this mix between him and Pedri? Do you see Pedri being behind the striker and Fabian playing at the back? Well, it's easy to see this tactical scheme. Drawing a tactical scheme with these players is easy. If Martin Zubimendi is there, so having Fabian play next to him as a central midfielder, Mikel Merino could add a lot of value to that. He can also go up front. But Pedri has a special talent for playing as a number 8, as a number 10, as we use him. Why? Because why do I say that I like his position, to play him closer to the area, to the penalty box? Well, they were praising his goals, right? And of course, if that's near the penalty box, that's where you score, that's where you give that last pass. So that's when he can make the most of that special talent he has. For us, I of course respect what everybody thinks, but for us, he can play the same way as he played the last on the semifinal, like dropping a little bit, a little bit further away from the area, but we like to play him closer to the penalty box where we can use his qualities much better. So as he was saying, he's also versatile, and we're going to try to keep him to keep maintaining that possibility, right? But look at what we are talking about, you know. And what you've already done the lineup. Where are we going to play Lamine? Where are going to play Dani Olmo, Gavi, Fermin? So we have many other players, and many players, and only 11 can play. So it depends on the idea of the game plan for the match. Some days, some people will have more minutes, and some games, some other people will play. So that's what we call a team. We all know how well is Spain playing its short tournaments. We've had 3 consecutive finals, 2 back-to-back finals with you. I don't know if, knowing how important the details are, I don't know if what you want to do for this final. You've been conceding goals in the, you know. I don't know if you are worried about the defensive work, and you're going to try to do something about it to try and avoid conceding goals. Well, that's the theory, right? We want to concede less goals, right? But the problem is that if you score more goals than you concede, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Well, of course, a coach doesn't like to concede many goals, and especially more so if they don't score many goals. But a game that ends 3-3, 5-4, they can turn uncontrollable. So with teams as powerful as Germany, as France, as Portugal, you know the little details are. So if, like, for example, the other day, this 5-1 was not real, really, because we knew that France would have their moments. So, but if you are able to maintain that, you can end up 5-3 to 5-2, right? So France had their moment too, in the same way that we had our moments. Paloma, I'm going to talk about this for a little longer. The other day, at the end of the game, we spoke with Deschamps for a couple of minutes, and he said it's impossible to see a game in which you see so many stars playing together. And I said, yeah, fine. It's true. You know, in the world today, it's very difficult. Tomorrow it's going to be a super exciting game. But the amount of stars on the pitch the other day, you know, they are super players who have the quality to score goals and to do many things right. I think it was a historic game, this semi-final, which was very open, but even coaches liked it. And it was a tribute to football and a tribute to the fans.
Muy buenas tardes. Fernando Burgos en directo para el Radio Estadio de Onda Cero. Lo que es muy difícil es estar 27
What's really difficult is to play for 27 months to play for 27 months without losing an official game. Since 2023 against Scotland. Nothing is eternal, nothing lasts forever. It's impossible to win all your life, and it's impossible to lose all your life. Are you ready for that defeat? Are you ready for those, for going back to reality and face a different reality? Yes, they'll give them any ideas. Of course I'm ready. When you are, like I always say, the more you win, the closer you are to losing. Right? Like you were saying, nothing lasts forever. Not defeat, not victory. So when you keep winning and winning, the day that you will lose gets closer. But we don't know when that will happen, and we're gonna keep fighting for it. We don't have, our idea is not trying to break any record. We just try to win the next game and face the next challenge, the next objective, etc. One game at a time. And when it has to happen, when we have to suffer that first defeat, of course I'm ready for it, because I'm ready for success too. Sometimes it's more difficult to know how to win than to know how to lose, and I'm ready for both.
We're running very late, and then the player will come in and we'll open the floor up. Thank you.
We spoke before about stars, and maybe the focus is going to be Cristiano versus Lamine. I wanted to ask you about the battle in midfield, where there is a lot of talent as well. How important do you think that duel on midfield is going to be in order to see what how the final is going to end up? Well, it's it's an important area of the game where you get where everything, how the creation, the possession, domination of the game, etc., is created, is formed. Controlling midfield is very important, but of course it's important to play well in all lines, in all areas. I spoke about the top level of our opponents, France and Portugal, and also our team. We have so many stars, and we have to look at all the facets, all the aspects in the game. You have to avoid making mistakes in defense, in top security areas, as we call them, and you have to be clinical in front of goal. And so we have to try to control every aspect of the game, because games at this level, it doesn't really are not decided by controlling a certain aspect of the game, right? We have to attack well, defend well, be balanced, as a team. It's a final, I insist. It's very rare that you will see four people like this in the semi-final with so many stars, right? Among these four teams, like I mean, in this final four, like super recognized players, great stars, it's going to be very difficult to find four teams like this getting together in a semi-final like this, right? In a final four like this. Next time it might be in the World Cup. So I wish we can be there as well.
Gracias. Vamos. Vladis. Vamos, sí, hombre, sí. Con la que está lloviendo, vamos a salir. Espera que pare un poco.
Okay, guys, we're good. We'll do three questions.
Perdón.
We'll do three questions. We'll do 1, 2, 3.
Una porque es que está Miquel y quiere pasar. Miquel, es más importante lo que escucharle a Miquel que de lo que sí.
Right, they said it was raining, so they're going to keep on for 3 more questions.
Olá, Mister. Não sei se me entendem em português. Vou tentar falar devagar.
Hello, Coach. I don't know if you understand me in Portuguese. I'll speak slowly. What are the main weapons that Portugal has? Who are their main players? And how do you see what Cristiano Ronaldo is doing at the age of 40?
Well, I'm going to start with the last question about Cristiano Ronaldo. We spoke about him before. Well, I totally praise his figure. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's an example in everything, as a footballer and as a person. He's a top person with his idea of life. I really like it. But talking about the Portuguese team, they have great international experience in all their players. Conceição, Trincão, they have footballers that are exceptional. They have a very high level. But I know Roberto very well. And what's important in Portugal is the team itself. It's really my idea. This is what I like, being able to bring all the individual interest of these great players and bring it together so that we can make a team. They have that, and we have that too. Thank you very much.